doctors told me I'd slow down by 70. They said the aches would come, the memory would fade, the pills would pile up. But here I am, 92 years old, still driving myself to the grocery store, still walking without a cane, and still waking up every morning with energy, clarity, and joy. And let me tell you something that might surprise you. It's not genetics, it's not magic, and it's not luck. It's 5 simple habits I've followed for the past 30 years, quiet, powerful little practices that most people ignore. They take just a few minutes a day. No expensive treatments, no special supplements, but they've made a world of difference. They've kept my immune system sharp, my mind alert, my body strong, and my spirit light. And I believe deep down that if more people knew about these habits, they'd still be dancing at 92. So if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, and you've been wondering, is it too late to feel good again? I'm here to tell you absolutely not. Your body is still listening, and these 5 little changes, they might just give you the reset you've been praying for. Because healthy aging isn't about luck. It's about small intentional habits done daily before the pain starts, before the energy fades, before you're told to slow down. Let me show you what I've been doing and how you can start today. Let's dive into habit number 1. It's the one I never skip, no matter what. Habit 1. The 2-minute cold water face plunge that resets your nervous system. Every morning, before I make coffee, open the blinds, or speak a word to anyone, I do something that might sound a little strange. But it's one of the biggest reasons I'm still feeling sharp and steady at 92. I splash cold water on my face and wrists. Not lukewarm, not mildly cool. Cold. Sometimes, I run a chilled towel under icy water and press it gently against my cheeks and neck. Other times, I lean over the sink and let the cold water hit me directly. Either way, it only takes 2 minutes, but what it does for me feels like flipping a master switch. You know that mental fog that tends to hang around in the morning? Gone. The tightness in the chest from stress or worry? Eased. That sluggish feeling that says, let's just stay in bed today? Gone before it can settle in. What this habit really does is activate your vagus nerve, often called the body's natural reset button. The vagus nerve runs from your brainstem all the way through your chest and abdomen. When stimulated, like with cold water, it tells your nervous system, you're safe, you're calm, you're ready. In fact, research from Harvard has shown that cold water exposure to the face and wrists stimulates what's called the dive reflex. This reflex lowers your heart rate, deepens your breath, boosts something called vagal tone, which improves your body's ability to regulate stress and recover from tension, sharpens alertness, and even enhances mood and emotional stability. Over time, stimulating this reflex daily can actually train your nervous system to be more resilient. That means better focus, better sleep, steadier mood, and fewer days where you feel overwhelmed or off balance. And the best part? It's free, it's simple, and it takes less than 2 minutes. You don't need caffeine to wake up. You don't need pills to feel balanced. You need clarity. And sometimes, clarity starts with a splash. I haven't skipped this habit in over 20 years, and I believe it's one of the most overlooked tools for lifelong vitality. But it's just the beginning, because once my nervous system is awake, I do one more thing to make sure my immune system is, too. Habit 2, the backwards walking secret that rebuilds your brain. Every afternoon, I set aside a few quiet minutes, just 3 to 5. I don't lift weights. I don't do push-ups. I simply walk backwards. I know, it sounds strange, but I've been doing it for years. And let me tell you, it's one of the most powerful habits I've ever picked up. Why? Because walking backward wakes up your brain in ways that forward walking never could. It's not just about movement, it's about rebuilding lost connections between the body and the mind. You see, as we age, our brains crave new challenges. Not harder workouts, not louder routines, just different ones. And backward walking does exactly that. When you walk backward, you activate muscles in your calves, thighs, and lower back that rarely get used. Balance systems that help prevent falls. Neural pathways responsible for focus, coordination, and memory. In fact, a study from the Journal of Motor Behavior found that older adults who practiced backward walking for just a few minutes a day experienced improved cognitive flexibility, sharper motor coordination, and greater spatial awareness. No gym, no equipment, no noise. Just you, your breath, and a few careful steps in reverse. I usually do it in the hallway. Sometimes outside on the patio somewhere safe, flat, and free of obstacles. I take it slow. I stay focused. And in that short, quiet ritual, I feel something click back into place, like I'm dusting off an old circuit in my brain and flipping it back on. It's grounding, it's meditative, and it's surprisingly energizing. The truth is, your brain doesn't age the way people say it does. It doesn't just decline, it adapts. But only if you give it something new to work with. And walking backward, just a few minutes a day, it's one of the simplest ways to spark that adaptation. Because sometimes, the best way to move forward is to take a few steps back. But movement is just one part of the puzzle. Because when evening comes and the body slows down, there's one little ritual I do before bed that helps me wake up stronger. Habit 3, the 30-second humming ritual that supercharges your immune system. Every day right before lunch, I pause. I sit quietly, take a deep breath, and then I hum. Yep, that's it. I hum. Sometimes it's an old favorite tune from my youth. Sometimes it's just a long, slow It might sound silly, but this 30-second ritual, it's one of the biggest reasons I haven't had a cold in over 30 years. Let me explain. When you hum, your chest, throat, and face gently vibrate. Those vibrations stimulate your vagus nerve, the same one activated by cold water splashes, and encourage the production of nitric oxide in your nasal passages. Why does that matter? According to Nature Review's Immunology, nitric oxide is a powerful molecule that improves blood flow, opens your airways, reduces inflammation, and most important, enhances your immune response, especially against viruses. It's one of your body's natural defenses, and humming turns it on. Ancient breathing practices knew this long before the science caught up. In yoga, it's called Brahmari, or bee breath, a calming, immune-boosting technique where you hum like a buzzing bee. Modern science is finally catching on, and I've been doing it instinctively for decades. I don't rely on garlic pills or a shelf full of supplements. I don't chug lemon water or chase superfoods. I just hum. 30 seconds, once or twice a day. Sometimes while I prepare lunch. Sometimes while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil. And as I hum, I imagine my immune cells waking up like little soldiers in formation. All right, team, let's get to work. It's gentle, it's calming, it's incredibly effective, and it's one of the easiest ways to keep your body on alert without stress, without strain, and without spending a penny. Because health isn't just about what you fight off. It's about what you awaken within. But immunity is just part of the story. Because there's another habit I practice every single evening. Not for my body, but for my brain. And it all starts with a notebook and 5 quiet minutes. Habit 4, the 1-minute gratitude game that rewires your brain for happiness. You've probably heard of gratitude journals. Maybe you've even tried writing a few things at night before bed or first thing in the morning. But let me tell you what's worked far better for me over the last 30 years. It's what I call the gratitude gameiand. I play it every hour or so in just 60 seconds. Here's how it works. I pause whatever I'm doing, drinking tea, reading, folding laundry, and I find 3 very specific things I'm grateful for that happened in the last hour. Not vague generalities like my family or my health, but micro moments, tiny details, the stuff most people overlook. Things like the smell of cinnamon drifting in from my neighbor's kitchen, the texture of the napkin I used at lunch, a memory of my sister that popped into my head out of nowhere, the way the light hit the curtain just right. That's the game. 1 minute, 3 details. That's it. And let me tell you, it's changed my brain. According to research from UCLA, when you focus on specific, time-bound gratitude, you activate parts of the brain associated with emotional regulation, resilience, and overall well-being. Over time, this builds new neural pathways that protect against anxiety, depression, even immune dysfunction. This isn't just about feeling positive. It's about training your brain to notice good things in real time, instead of dwelling on worry or regret. And the more I play the gratitude game, the easier it becomes to find the good in the everyday. Now, I don't need big reasons to feel happy. I'm just happier for no reason at all. It keeps my mind sharp, my spirit light, and my heart more at peace. It's one of the easiest, fastest ways I know to shift your entire outlook, especially in a world that constantly pulls your attention toward what's wrong. But gratitude doesn't just shape your emotions. The next habit is about shaping your future. And all it takes is 10 minutes of silence and the question I ask myself every night before bed. Habit 5. The 5-touch rule that keeps your mind sharp as attack. Here's a habit I bet no one ever taught you, but it's one of the reasons my mind is still clear, focused, and curious at 92. It's called the 5-touch rule. Throughout the day, during walks, chores, or moments of stillness, I make a point to touch 5 different textures. And as I do, I either name them aloud or acknowledge them silently in my mind. It might look like this: the rough bark of a tree as I walk past, the cool, smooth glass of a water bottle, the soft fabric of my favorite sweater, the warm ceramic of my tea mug, the cold metal of a doorknob. Why do I do this? Because every time you touch something intentionally, you engage areas of the brain responsible for sensory processing, memory, focus, and emotional regulation. It's like yoga butt for your brain's sensory network. A study from Frontiers in Psychology found that multisensory awareness exercise, especially those involving intentional touch, can significantly improve memory recall, sensory motor coordination, cognitive flexibility, emotional balance in older adults. And the best part? You don't need a special app. You don't need a worksheet or puzzle. You just need your hands and a little awareness. You see, we live in a world that rushes past texture, sensation, and subtlety. But when you reconnect with the physical world, really feel it, your mind becomes sharper, more grounded, more alive. I don't play brain games or do crossword puzzles anymore. This is my brain game, and it works. Every time I notice a texture, every time I name it, my brain lights up. Touch brings you back to the present. And presence is health. But there's one more thing I've learned. It's not just what you do during the day that matters. It's what you do in the final 10 minutes before sleep that sets the tone for your entire next day. And that last habit? It's the quietest but maybe the most powerful of them all. People often ask me, what's your secret? They expect a miracle diet, a rare gene, a secret supplement from some faraway place. But my answer always catches them off guard. Little things, done daily, with intention. Not perfection, not youth. Just small, consistent habits tailored to the body I live in now, not the one I had at 30. Because real health isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's quiet, subtle. It shows up in the way you stand, breathe, think, and smile when no one's watching. So, what can you start today? A cold splash that calms your nervous system. A backward walk that lights up your brain. A 30-second hum that fuels your immune defense. A gratitude moment that lifts your spirit. A curious touch that sharpens your senses. None of these habits are flashy, but together, they build something stronger than luck resilience. Because health doesn't disappear all at once. It fades in silence and returns just as quietly. One choice, one breath, one tiny act of care at a time. Which one of these small habits will you try first? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your start.